Hi, this is going to be a tarot reading for September 2020 for the sign of Pisces. Um, so if your sun, moon, or rising sign or part of fortune sign is in Pisces, then this reading's for you. Um, these are general readings, so with that being said, take what resonates and leave the rest. As I said in previous videos, somewhere around 30% or so of the population has their sun, moon, rising, or part of fortune sign in Pisces. So, that's a lot of people. That's several billion people, right? Um, that's, that's over 2 billion people on this planet, right? So, not everything in this reading is going to resonate for every single Pisces on the planet. Um, and moreover, for a lot of you, a lot of it will resonate. And for a fair bit of you, a moderate amount will resonate. And for some of you, less of it will resonate. So take what resonates and leave the rest. And with that being said, if any of you are interested in a private reading, where things would be a lot more specific to your situation, circumstances, then the link to my email address is in the description. And coming soon, rogerthewise.com. And yeah, I also offer astrology readings as well. And yeah, but yeah, I'll have those in the website and stuff like that. More information on it. Yeah, if you're interested in astrology reading, then let me know and email. Um, and yeah, so this is September 2020 for the sign of Pisces, and we're going to start off with the astrological influences for the month. And yeah, so roll the astro dice. We have Pluto in Cancer in the 5th house. So it seems like for you Pisces, during September 2020, and this will apply if you have multiple planets or points in Pisces as well. Just FYI. Pluto and Cancer in the 5th house. Okay. Well, this indicates, Pisces, that during September 2020, it seems like there's going to be a transformation in your love lives. Seems like Pluto represents transformation, and the 5th house represents romance and relationships and stuff like that. Flames and intimate encounters, and yeah, it's a house of pleasure. Yeah. It can represent relationships as well. It's just it can also represent fertility as well. So children and stuff like that would be 5th house matters. And with Pluto in Cancer in the 5th, Cancer is a very fertile sign. It's a sign of the mother. So what I'm getting off the bat here is that a lot of you Pisces, you're going to be more fertile this month than usual. So I mean, if you want to get pregnant, that's great. But if you don't, then wrap it up, right? And yeah, the 5th house is a house of romance. So it looks like there's a transformation or a revolution happening in your love lives. In the way maybe you, for some of you, it would be, the way that you perceive or your beliefs around romance and love. And for some of you, it could be, a new person entering your life, or a start of a new, or a start of a relationship, or start of a relationship of some sort. You can meet someone new or rekindle something with someone old from the past. It could be returning as well. Yeah, it could be someone from the past. And it could be someone new as well. And for some of you too, it could be that you're just reevaluating the way you look at love, the way you look at romance, the way you look at relationships. Yeah. Um, for some of you, it could be that you may be evaluating certain people and stuff like that, and just um, essentially like putting them under a bit of a microscope and seeing what they're about, trying to assess them, trying to understand them better and see if they're compatible with you. Um, for some of you, this can mean a renaissance in terms of your creativity, your creative self-expression. Um, it can mean that you get for some of you, it can mean that you get a new idea, a great idea that kind of that's still in the seed processes or the gestation processes. It's kind of something that's not really fully developed yet, but maybe the beginning of an idea that could be really important and could make you money or change your life positively in some way. For some of you, this can mean that you could be developing psychic and or occult or spiritual talents of some sort during the month. For some of you, this can mean that you'll experience positive karma happening to you this month. For some of you, you could experience, for some of you, I mean, it can mean that you experience karma in general. Maybe you, it could be positive or it could be negative. It depends on the person. For some of you, a younger person could play a very pivotal role for you this month. It could be someone who's already in your life some way, or it could be someone new entering your life. For some of you, it's going to be a pretty intense month. Well, it looks like it'll be an intense month for a lot of you. For some of you, old structures could be broken down and replaced with new ones. It could be a month of endings, a month of new beginnings. Yeah. For a lot of you, it seems like there's going to be an intense love affair this month, or the potential for one at least. Yeah. Something pretty steamy, maybe. Well, yeah, it looks like it would be something pretty steamy. Yeah. Yeah, Pluto in the 5th in Cancer, yeah, it would be. Anyway, I'll be doing the Celtic cross reading for the month now. right out the gate, Jesus. Wow, just looking at, yeah, just like the cards out, and geez, Pisces, this is going to be a good month. Wow. Um, it looks like circumstances leading into the month haven't been that great for you guys. Geez. But things are getting better. Jeez. That's a bit of a relief for myself personally, because I have Venus in Pisces, so jeez Louise. In my Vedic chart, I have a lot of planets in Pisces as well. So I'm definitely a very Piscean person. But yeah, yeah. With that being said, I'll get started here. Interesting. Okay, Pisces. I'm using the Aleister Crowley deck, the Book of Thoth deck, today. For card number 1, we have the Ten of Wands. That's the present position. So leading into September 2020, Pisces, it seems as though you're under a lot of stress. The card indicates the words, in this particular deck. There's a word on it for each of the numbered cards, and on this card there's the word oppression. So it seems, Pisces, like leading into September 2020, you're carrying a bit of a burden. You're carrying a bit of a load on your back. It seems like it seems like there's, you're pretty active. You have a lot of coals in the fire. Yeah, some of you may have a lot of projects to do, a lot of work to do, a lot of things to get done. Some of you may be under oppressive circumstances. Some of you may be some of you may be going through things that aren't the best. Circumstances that can be pretty stressful, right? But this is the 10. It's the 10 of Wands, so it looks like those circumstances. For those of you that are going through those things, those circumstances are going to be getting better soon. It's with this card, it's important as your significator for the spread. It's important to realize that some of the things that if you're carrying a heavy load on your back, right? It's your choice to carry those things, right? To some extent, anyway. There's some things, loads on your back that are placed on you. Just kind of it is what it is, right? But some of them, you have a choice of whether you want to carry them or not. So it's important to remember that not to dilute your energies too much during the month. To kind of do what's essential and do the things that need to be done and all that stuff, right? But the things that are non-essential, consider cutting away some of those, perhaps, and kind of review, and evaluate which things are essential to you, which responsibilities you have are essential to you, and which are not, right? And if it seems like you don't really have enough hours in the day to get things done, then it'd be an idea to drop some of the things that are non-essential, right? surrounding you during the month, we have the Two of Cups. And what this card says on it is love. So it's, yeah, that's one of the primary significations of the Two of Cups. In the surrounding position, this indicates that there's, during September of 2020, for you Pisces, there's a possibility of romance for you. It could be that someone around you has strong feelings for you. It could, for a lot of you, this would indicate that someone around you or someone you know has, quite a romantic attraction to you. For most of you, I'd say this indicates that during the month you're going to be more attractive than usual. And the possibility of romance or love is in the air, potentially, or start a new relationship, or the start of an intimate encounter of some sort. For a lot of you, it seems like there's going to be, you may have a more, romantic vibe about you during the month. You may have, it seems like based on this, and based on some of the other cards in the spread, as well as the astrological influencers for the month, it seems like some of you, you're going through some changes in regards to your love life, or in regards to your romantic life or sex life or things like that. It seems like, for some of you, you're going to be reevaluating things. It seems like for a bit of you, actually, you're kind of redefining and reevaluating, your views on love and romance, and intimacy and things like that. It seems like it seems like for some of you, you may be opening up your hearts, for the first time in a while. For some of you, may be considering it. For some of you, may be, for some of you, it seems like you're going through, a bit of a renaissance, the way you look at, you view love and romance and things like that, and how you, your views on those kind of things, and And as a more broad interpretation, it seems like there's a spirit of cooperation, or partnership, or spirit of cooperation that's in the air. That's that perhaps wasn't in the past. Potentially. This could also represent for some of you a business partnership, potentially, for some of you it could represent a friendship, that becomes more prominent this month. This is card number 3. It's what's crossing you during the month, Pisces. This card, this is the Four of Swords. And what's written on it is the truce. In other decks, this card can represent truce for sure. In other decks, it's depicted as a sleeping man. It signifies rest, mulling over your thoughts, kind of, and sleeping over something, or Leo's saying, where you say, I'm gonna think it. I'm gonna, go to sleep and think it over. I'll make up my mind tomorrow, right? Something like that. So for some of you, this indicates that during the month, things that could be slowing or blocking your progress could be not taking enough action. or waiting to make a decision could, slow or block your progress during the month. Um, yeah, that's the primary thing I'm getting from this, is that, for a lot of you, um, for some of you, not making a decision or waiting perhaps too long to make a decision could slow or block your progress. For some of you, not taking enough action could be slowing or blocking your progress during the month. Um, yeah, that's primarily what I'm getting from this. Mhm. It's hot up here. Jeez Louise. Uh, it's hot up here. Anyway, for card number 4, which is your foundation card, we have the Seven of Pentacles. On this card, it's called Failure. So, this indicates that crucial to your foundation for this month, Pisces, is to recognize perhaps a past failure. To recognize perhaps for some of you, perhaps recognize something that's failed or something that won't work. You know, perhaps for some of you, crucial to your foundation would be to perhaps for some of you, because in other decks this card's different, the meaning of it. So for some of you, perhaps it's a time, of reflection, and crucial to your foundation is to reflect on, the circumstances, and reflect on, your actions and the results that come from them. So for some of you, crucial to your foundation would be, to assess the results of what you do, the fruits of your labors, and to see see what can be modified and see what can be changed to kind of to get better results next time. It's like like a farmer essentially. Like they grow a crop, and then and then there's a time of harvest, right? And then the farmer assesses the fruits of his labors, right? And then he kind of thinks about well, this is okay, but I can make this change and that change, and next time I could have a much better harvest than last time. So for some of you, crucial to your situation would be to assess and review, to kind of change one variable at a time, with what you're doing, and to kind of see how that changes things, see how that changes the final results. And if you assess, your work and stuff like that, and review it, then it'll kind of give you ideas on how to improve things and how to, be more efficient and be more productive, and get better results. So, yeah, that's what I'm getting for this. In the past position, Pisces, we have the Nine of Swords. And the word on that one is cruelty. So, for some of you, this indicates then that, in the past, you may have been going through a situation, that was quite cruel leading up to September 2020. That'd be like an obvious interpretation of it. And for some of you, leading to September 2020, there may have been a lot of stress and anxiety. Yeah. For some of you, there may have been, a lot of restlessness. For some of you, there could have been, some insomnia. Based on this and based on the other cards, some of the other cards, well, for one, the Significator card, the first card, it looks like, in the past, the situation, the circumstances for you guys weren't that great. It seems like, there's oppression and cruelty. Yeah, it seems like, it seems like, although past circumstances, they haven't been best, leading up to September. It seems like based on these cards, the worst is over, for the most part. It seems like, leading up to September 2020, it was kind of a darkest, before the dawn kind of thing, And it seems like, it seems like as the month progresses, things are going to get better than they were. Yeah, it seems like for, a lot of you that, leading up to September 2020, there were oppressive or cruel circumstances that took place, and that those are kind of fading out of the picture now. As September progresses more and more, it seems like those circumstances are going to fade. For card number 6, we have the Six of Wands, Victory. Card number 6 is what crowns you during the month, Pisces. So it seems like, and the crowning card, it's a variable card. It's a card that may or may not manifest. It's a card that's kind of up in the air, right? It may happen for some of you. It may happen, it may not for some of you. So it seems like, this card is called Victory, and that's one of its primary significations. It can also represent, social status and public recognition or acclaim, achievement of some sort. So it seems like, Pisces, that for some of you, a victory could be attained this month, and for some of you, your social status or standing in the community could be, elevated. Some of you could be seen as a role model. Some of you could be seen as having accomplished something, significant. Some of you could be seen as, some of you could get, support from others this month. And some of you could, attain a victory of some sort. There's a possibility for a victory this month. But that being said, it's not really, like I said, it's a variable card, so it's something that's, it's a possibility, but it's not something that's, guaranteed to happen. Oh, geez Louise. For card number 7, which is the near future circumstances for Pisces, we have the Empress. And the Empress is one of the best cards in the deck. It's a very fortunate card. So this indicates that during around the middle of September of 2020, Pisces, that your situation's going to get better. This card could represent fertility. It can definitely represent it's one of its primary significations is fertility. So like I said, with the astrological influences and all that stuff, Yeah, it's definitely a month where you're more fertile, Pisces, and Pisces is a fertile sign to begin with. So it's if you're looking for that, then it's a good month to put the work in. But if you're not, then it's a good month to definitely take the necessary precautions, wrap it up, or birth control of some sort, right? So yeah. Um, but beyond fertility, well, this card, one of its primary significations is fertility, but that can represent fertility on a lot of different levels. It can represent physical, fertility. Um, it can represent fertility of ideas. It can represent creativity, right? Because creativity would be like fertility of the mind, right? Um, it can represent, yeah, it can represent financial abundance. It can represent um, it could represent obviously like being more attractive than usual. Um, it could represent for some of you it could represent that yeah, more options this month romantically. Um, for some of you, yeah, definitely it seems like you're going to be viewed as more attractive this month than usual. Um, it seems like it seems like definitely whatever your individual situations are, it definitely it seems like progress is going to be made around the middle of the month, and you're going to kind of reach a higher level, a higher level of abundance, a higher level of prosperity, a higher level of attractiveness. It seems like for some of you opportunities might be coming around the middle of the month that could be quite fortunate for you, for some of you. And these opportunities, some of them could be romantic, some of them could be business opportunities, some of them could be opportunities for growth and expansion, and just making your life better and having um, you know the opportunity to basically create more prosperity or happiness for yourselves. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, leading up to the month, leading up to September 2020 Pisces, it seems like circumstances have been cruel and oppressive, but it seems like as the month progresses and heading into the middle of the month, things are gonna get better. And, yeah. Anyway, what we have here for card number 8 is the Death card. And the Death card, it sounds really negative, and it can be in certain cases, but it's actually not. It's it's not as terrible as some people think it is. It can signify death. I mean, just it's something that's. There's 78 cards in the tarot, so people are going to pull the Death card a lot of times. So it doesn't, if it represented death every fucking time someone pulled it, then there wouldn't be anyone in this world. Well, at least not in the metaphysical circles that use these cards, right? So that being said, generally it's it can represent positive things too. It can represent endings, obviously, but it can also represent new beginnings. It can represent cutting away things that are no longer useful, in your life, or things about yourself or your personality that are no longer useful. Cutting away at things, and kind of seeing what remains and kind of working with that as a new foundation, for new starts. So with that being said, this card, it's card number 8, which is how you should present yourself during the month. So with the Death card here of how you should present yourself, then Pisces, you should probably present yourself during the month as going through, having going through or having gone through a very intense transformation, very as you know, as someone who's willing to cut away things that are no longer useful in their lives. These could be people, these could be circumstances, it could be a multitude of different things, right? And someone who is willing to cut away things that are no longer useful in order to make way for something, for new things, right? For some of you, this could indicate that some of you during the month should present yourself as because it looks like there's going to be opportunities this month for things, right? Various things. It seems like romance is favored this month for you guys, and it seems like there's going to be other opportunities as well. Perhaps business as well, and it seems like there's going to be business opportunities as well. And perhaps opportunities to improve your position in society, right? So with that being said, for some of you, it's an idea this month to present yourself as being willing to to walk away from an opportunity, right? If it just doesn't if it's just not if it's just not presenting you with what you want, right? Um, for some of you, this could indicate that during the month it'd be an idea to present yourself as someone who's willing to walk away, right? Someone who's willing to let go. Someone who and for some of you, this it'd be an idea this month to present yourself as someone who's wanting to put the past behind them. Um, for some of you, this could be indicate that this is a month to end certain relationships or associations, and to let go of people that are no longer, or people that don't really serve you, or people that don't really have your best interests at heart, right? For some of you, this could represent letting go of a habit, that doesn't really, that isn't really helping you. Um, for some of you, this could represent, present yourself as moving on from something. Yeah, that's what I'm getting in the month. You guys. For some of you, this could represent, present yourself as a revolutionary of some sort. Yeah. For card number 9, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Card number 9 in the Celtic cross represents how other people see you during the month. Okay. So what this indicates is that during the month of September 2020, other people are going to be seeing you as an opportunity of some sort. Some people are going to be seeing you as an opportunity to gain resources. Um, some of you are going to be seen by others as being a potentially lucrative business opportunity. Some of you are going to be seen as some of you are going to be seen during the month as quite healthy. Um, some of you are going to be seen during the month as some of you during the months are going to be seen as having a nice body, being attractive. Um, some of you during the month are going to be seen as kind of being a seed or a potential that's coming to fruition, but it still needs to be nurtured. Um, some of you are going to be seen as perhaps coming into money or developing a business opportunity of some sort, or developing. Some of you could be seen. Some of you could be developing a business. Some of you could be starting a new job. Some of you could be some of you could be seen as transforming the way you make money. Yeah. Some of you could be seen as planting seeds that'll grow in the future, right? And these generally have they're generally of a symbolic, rhetorical sense, right? And for card number 10, we have the Hermit. The Hermit is card number 10. Card number 10 represents your fears regarding during the month. So for some of you, obviously, this could represent, some of you could be scared of isolation, or scared of being alone during the month. Some of you could be scared of solitude during the month. The Hermit is a symbol. I mean, obviously it represents those things, but as a symbol, probably primarily the one thing it represents is actually probably wisdom, and finding your own inner guiding light, right? As you can see in this card, the Hermit is depicted as holding this lamp, you see? And there's these lights emanating from the lamp, right? And that lamp, it basically represents his own guiding light, his inner voice, his inner calling, is basically his higher self speaking to him, and showing him the way, illuminating him the way forward, lighting him the way forward, or however you want to put it, right? Giving him greater clarity on what to do next, giving him greater motivation on what to do next, giving him greater focus, and giving him greater insight, into himself, into the world around him, right? So for some of you, it seems like, perhaps, finding your own inner light, your own inner voice could be something that could scare you during the month of September 2020. As a trump card also, this card, the Hermit, it's attributed to the sign of Virgo. So for some of you, you could be scared of a Virgo person during the month. Or have fears regarding the Virgo person. Yeah. Perhaps for some of you, um, perhaps for some of you, you don't really trust a Virgo person. Yeah. Um, anyway, for card number 11, we have the Star. This is a good card. And card number 11, it's the distant future, which is roughly around the end of the month. For you Pisces, it seems, Pisces, that around the end of the month, a wish is going to be granted of some sort. Um, it seems like, towards the end of the month, Pisces, that, like I said, going into September 2020, Pisces, sorry, jeez Louise. Anyway, it seems like going into September 2020, that, there were oppressive and cruel circumstances, so perhaps, by the end of the month, there could be, there could be, and, also based on the Empress, being in the near future, which is around the middle of the month. It seems like, those circumstances could be coming to an end by the end of the month, especially if the victory card is the crowning card as well, and if people seeing you as the Ace of Discs. This indicates that by the end of the month, Pisces, that there's going to be greater hope, greater inspiration, greater greater clarity, and perhaps it could be the end of the restrictive and oppressive and cruel circumstances that led up to the month, right? This card could represent, for a lot of you, that by the end of the month, a wish of yours could be granted. This wish could, it could be any number of things. It could be one thing or two things or multiple things, right? It depends. It depends which Pisces you are, but it seems like by the end of the month, you're going to have a lot more hope and a lot more happiness and joy, regarding your life and your circumstances. Yeah. For some of you, this could represent a relationship of some sort. It could represent Ace of Discs earlier. Empress earlier. Yeah. Could represent a business that starts to take off. Could represent an endeavor of some sort that that you start to see progress in. It could represent a feeling, for a lot of you, a much greater feeling of serenity, and being at peace and being more, just feeling more centered and more, just feeling better, about life and circumstances in general. It could represent also a renewal of your beliefs and values and stuff like that as well. Like I said, this month it seems like it's a bit of a renaissance for you guys. Or for us, it's it seems like it seems like beliefs and ideas, and stuff like that, and ways of thinking maybe are going through stages of review, right? And by the end of the month, it seems like the review that's been done on those things could, bear fruits. It could be that, marks a turning point in your life, right? A period where time, by the end of the month, it could be a time where, you have greater optimism, greater faith, greater faith in the universe, right? Because it's a star, right? Greater faith in, the world and people and stuff like that. Greater faith in, humanity and all that jazz. For some of you, it could be a time of healing by the end of the month. If some of you are going through health problems or stuff like that, by the end of the month, you could definitely, be a fair bit healthier. Um, and that would make sense with the Empress and the middle position of the month, and also with people seeing you as the Ace of Discs, because if people see you as the Ace of Discs, and for a lot of you, that would indicate that people would see you as healthier than usual, um, than normal. And also with the Ace of Discs is how people see you. A lot of people during the month are going to see you, Pisces, as being an opportunity of some sort. Um, and so, in some cases, depending on the people, so for a lot of you, during the month, you're going to be seen as an opportunity, right? So, the reality is, some of the people, uh, whenever you're seen as, a person is seen as an opportunity, right? Some people, some people will see you that way as, in a positive sense, right? And, and they'll kind of, their intentions will be good towards you, right? And then, there are going to be other people who are going to see you as an opportunity to kind of, take advantage of, right? And, so it's just important to decipher during the month, and to kind of evaluate and review and see kind of, try and make sure that, you, like I said, some people, people in general are going to see you as an opportunity, So it's important that you make sure that the people that you let in, they have your best interests at heart, or at least they don't have bad intentions for you, right? At the very least, right? And because if people are seeing you as an opportunity during the month, then some of them are going to have good intentions for you, right? Perhaps some of them, they'll see you as an opportunity, that could help themselves and help you too, right? So in that sense, it would be a reciprocal opportunity, right? Where they see you as, okay, I can help this person, and they can help me, and we can help each other, right? And that's good, that's healthy, right? And then there are some people that are going to see you as, okay, this person can help me, and but I'm not really going to help them, but maybe in some cases, people could see you as being able to help them, and maybe they have ill intentions for you, right? So it's just it's important to Pisces. Like I said before, I have Venus in Pisces myself. Venus exalted in Pisces, but I have in my Vedic chart or my sidereal chart, I have several planets in Pisces as well. So I'm pretty Piscean actually. So I understand the sign. You guys, you get lost in your heads a little bit. You like to daydream and fantasize. You just kind of, and kind of, sometimes, we're such a compassionate sign, right? The last sign of the zodiac, the sign of faith, the sign of sacrifice, the sign of, higher ideals, and all that stuff, right? But sometimes Pisces, we can just kind of, we can kind of see. Sometimes we can see things as being, better than they actually are. Sometimes, and sometimes, and sometimes we could get, Pisces, you could get confused or, kind of lost in, fantasy or ideals or that are hard to live up to, as well. So it's kind of, it's important during the month to kind of, have more of a, have more of a balance point between those two things, between maybe giving too much of a benefit of the doubt to people versus kind of having such a high ideal or standard that basically almost no one can live up to it, right? It's kind of It's going to vary depending on which one you are. But yeah, Pisces in general, he's kind of yeah, it's you know, we're highly intuitive, but it's important for some of you to kind of be more rational and logical, and to kind of you know to kind of look at the data more so than your thoughts, more so than your feelings, right? Sometimes, follow your intuition and stuff like that. It's just look at the data as well and see what kind of, and see how that modifies your impressions, right? You know, yeah, it's a good month. It definitely looks like leading up to the month that circumstances were the best for you guys. Jeez Louise. Um, but it looks like as the month progresses, things are going to be a bit better. It seems like it seems like some of the main takeaways from this reading would be to have a willingness to let go of things that don't serve you. Yeah, and another takeaway of this reading would be to kind of you know um, evaluate opportunities and people based on their actions towards you, right? And for some of you, it seems like during the month, one of the main takeaways would be to leave the past behind you. Perhaps for some of you, let go of old wounds, or old hurts or old betrayals. For some of you, it would be an idea to, it seems like there's a spirit of cooperation, greater harmony, greater love in the air. So for some of you, just be more open to that and be more, show kind of, show a bit more vulnerability and kind of, for some of you, coming out of your shell could be a bit of a concern during the month. But if you do, the results might be, it looks like, it could be good this month for sure. We have a couple discs cards. We have sword, one sword, two swords, two wands, cup, one cup. Okay. Well, all the elements are in here, so it doesn't really look like any one element is kind of more present than any other, really. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, it's going to be a good month for you guys. It seems like the shitty circumstances from the past, they're going to let up as the month progresses. And it seems like by the end of the month that as the middle of the month comes along, and then as the end of the month comes along, and then things are going to progressively get better and better. And you know, um, regarding people, regarding love seems to be in romance, romantic opportunities. It seems to be a big theme this month. Um, it seems like probably based on the aggregate of these cards here that if a person isn't showing you what you want to see from them, then walk away. But if they do, then give them a shot. But yeah, make sure they show you what you want them to show you. Yeah. And if they refuse to, then walk away, right? Yeah. Yeah. We all have, standards and boundaries, they're kind of important to us, right? And if lines are crossed, right, then, if a person, it's one thing, if a person, takes responsibility for it and kind of, tries to make amends, or at least, shows remorse for it, right, then, that's one thing, but if they don't, then there's no real point in, like, continuing, there's no real point in, giving you another chance if, the person already hurt you in the past and kind of, is kind of failing to take any responsibility for that. Yeah. But if the people that you're dealing with, if someone that there is a connection with, and they kind of, do their best to, or at least, apologize or something, or just, try to make amends in some way, then give them a shot, right? Maybe let them in then. Because Pisces, like the thing is that our sign, it's this kind of the issue with our sign is that we're so compassionate, right? And we're like really sensitive. We're so sensitive. We're like the most sensitive sign probably, or we're definitely one of the most sensitive signs. And yeah, I'd say Pisces is the most sensitive sign of the zodiac. And we're very compassionate as well, highly compassionate. Highly compassionate, and we, and Pisces, there's a sign that's probably the most capable of forgiveness out of any of the signs. It's the most forgiving sign out of any of them. And it's probably the sign that's most capable of, of expressing, unconditional love, right? But the reality is that sometimes, that can be taken advantage of, right? Like sometimes, when you're that compassionate and that understanding and that sensitive, and that forgiving, then, other people, they can kind of, try to, see that as an opportunity, or kind of, they could see that as, they can try to take advantage of that, right? And it's important to kind of, it's important to filter out, and to kind of, it's important to, consider, who you forgive this month. Consider who you let back in. Consider who you let in. And just kind of see what they show you. And if they show you something that's, if they show you something that's impressive, give them a shot. If they don't, then just walk away. Moreover, and the thing is, if the thing is, Pluto and Cancer in the fifth combined with these other cards. Like it's important to if you do give someone a second chance, to kind of be willing to start afresh, you know. But they kind of have to, you know. Yeah. I mean, but if you know that's the case for some of you, then you know, it's kind of you know, like I said, you got to evaluate you know what they're saying to you now and what they're kind of and whether you know they take any accountability you know for their actions or not. Because if they don't, then you know there's no point in starting it fresh because they'll just do the same thing over it again, right? That's how people are generally. They'll kind of you know. The reality is in a lot of circumstances, you know, in relationship and stuff like that. You know, if you, you know, the reality is, you know, if you forgive a person, you know, and take them back or give them another shot, right? Then you kind of, you know, then in that circumstance, you have to start fresh, right? You can't hold on to whatever it is that you know you know, caused the separation or distrust to begin with, right? You know, but in those circumstances, you know, like I said before, like you know, if you accept, um, you know, if you know a person betrays your trust, then you have to kind of, you know, you have to see something from them. You have to, you know, they have to show you something. They have to, you know, take some kind of accountability or say sorry or something like that for what they did, right? And if they don't do that, if they can't even do that, then there's no point in giving them a chance again, because that just indicates that they're not willing to take responsibility for their actions. You know, they're not willing to even, um, you know, say a few simple words, right? That could, you know, at least, you know, be the start of something, right? If they can't even do that, then there's no point, because that indicates that the person just doesn't have, that indicates that either for one, that the person doesn't respect, you know, you enough um, to try to make amends or say sorry, right? Or it can mean that the person just, you know, is too immature to hold themselves accountable, you know, for those things, right? For whatever it is that was done, right? So it's just, and either way, it indicates that basically the person is going to do, you know, whatever it is that they were doing before again, right? So the person could betray your trust again, or cheat on you again in some cases, or whatever, right? It just, you know, there has to be boundaries, you know. Like it's important that, you know, if boundaries are crossed in the past, to kind of, you know, if they come back with something, you know, with something sincere and something that's, you know, of some remorse, right? You know, then yeah, that's something, right? That's something. That's a start, right? Um, but if they don't even come back with that, then fuck. Might as well just you know move on to something better, or just you know move on to something you know that someone that kind of you know that you know that takes responsibility, to kind of someone who's more responsible and someone who has more of your best interests at heart, someone who's not gonna you know hurt you and over again, you know, and, you know take advantage of your kindness, you know, because that's the reality of a lot of people is that you know a lot of people you know if you give them an inch they'll take a mile, you know, fucking so it's just like you know Pisces, you know, we have really big hearts, you know, we're just really sensitive and loving people, you know. Venus is exalted in Pisces, which means it's one of the strongest signs it can be in, right? Venus is a planet of love and romance and all that stuff, right? So it's just, we're romantic people, right? And sometimes, you know, romantic people are the ones who get taken advantage of the most. Holy fuck. You know, it's the reality is in romance and dating, you know, romance seems to be a big theme this month for you guys. It seems like a big theme. It's easily the biggest theme of the whole month. You know, so the reality is in romance, fucking, you know, it's the romantics that generally can get, you know, fucked over the worst, you know, relationships or you know, all that stuff, right? It's the ones that have, you know, the biggest hearts. It's the one that the ones that, have the most compassion, they can get fucked over the worst, in dating and romance. Whereas the ones that don't really, they're kind of flaky and just kind of, they don't really, they're not really even that capable of, loving another person yet. They're the ones who kind of, they're the ones who get hurt the least. They just kind of, they're the ones that get fucked over the least because, they don't really let it happen. Those disengage as soon as fucking you see a red flag, right? And, sometimes, a person, when they get hurt, they put up boundaries that are too high, right? And then, in those cases, you kind of have to lower them a bit, so that at least people can get in, right? Fucking, because, the thing is, if, the reality is that, um, you know, every cynic in life, every critic or cynic, a cynic is the word to describe it, I think. Someone who's very critical, stuff like that. Cynic, yeah. Someone who's very jaded, yeah. Those people, some of those people, they could have been like the biggest idealists at one point. They could have been, the person who's jaded in relationships, or all that stuff. They could have been like a huge romantic at one point, and they just kind of got burned, and they're just like, fuck this. It's just, it's, when you have a big heart and you're a sensitive person, it's just important to kind of, and you get hurt, it's important to, it's important to, it's important to not close yourself off forever. It's important, to not put your, defenses too high afterwards, because, if you do, then, it's just, yeah, 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 really, that's all I have to say. Yeah, there's going to be evaluation of your boundaries this month, romantically. And you're going to be evaluating your standards and your prerequisites and stuff like that. And you're going to be evaluating people as well. Yeah, I guess the reality is the biggest takeaway from this, in those evaluations of people, and make sure they're fair. Just try to, don't try to let past hurts define you, and don't try to hold people to unrealistic standards. But at the same time, they have to show you something too, and if they don't, it's not really gonna. It's the balance point between the person not having like any respect for themselves, where they maybe take give someone another chance, or take someone back who basically wronged them in the past and shows no real remorse for it, right? Or real And then, there's the opposite end of the spectrum where, you kind of, after being hurt, you kind of put your boundaries and walls up so high that no one could basically climb over it, right? So it's like, it's important during the month. It seems like romance is going to be a big theme of it, and it seems like there's going to be opportunities for you. So it seems like you kind of, you want to hit that sweet spot of having, your boundaries high enough that the people of bad intentions for you can't get in, right? and but not having them so high that no one can get in, right? And to kind of yeah. Where you give, so if you can do that, then you can give chances to the people that deserve them, and withhold those chances from the people that don't. And if you do that, then you're probably gonna have a better love life and all that stuff. A better foundation anyway for going forward. But it seems like there's definitely gonna be opportunities this month, and it seems like you're gonna be Pisces, quite a bit more attractive than usual. So it seems like they're gonna see that, and people are gonna see you as someone who's people are gonna see you as an opportunity this month. So like I said, some of those people are gonna have good intentions for you, or at least fair intentions for you, and some of them aren't. So work on that. Work on achieving that sweet spot between having where your standards and your boundaries are just high enough, but not so high that it basically prevents you from where it prevents you from taking advantage of the opportunities that may be available to you this month, right? But yeah, anyway, yeah, it seems like love and romance is the biggest theme this month, and evaluating your own views on it and your own boundaries and standards and all that stuff is going to be a focal point. So and it seems like there's going to be growth and abundance, and it seems like it's going to be a good month, and it seems like things are going to get better. And it seems like the oppression and cruelty of the past, it's fading out as the month progresses, which is good because we're already at September the 9th now. So and geez Louise, at least so we're coming into the Empress period pretty quick here, actually. So it's yeah, it seems like it's going to be a good month, and it seems like it's going to get better and better as the month progresses. So yeah, Pisces, yeah, it's a good reading. It's a really good reading, actually. It's one of the best readings of the month. Or the best. The other best ones were, I think Leo was really good. Libra was really good too. And yeah, you're right up there though. This is one of the better readings. This is easily right up there as one of the top readings of the month. So it's gonna be a good month for you guys. So yeah, good luck, and